Yeah, I mean, we get to see SMG for their third series of the entire Pro Series number 6, and we get to see an Omni Knight as well. Clearly, Southfield raided the Marana Sand King combo. They instantly picked it back to back in the second two picks of the entire draft. But I'm liking the Omni Knight. You know, the Heavenly Grace, good for being able to be used as a dispel. The status resistance always very good against any kind of chain lockdown, and of course, not that it's going to do much against the magic, but Guardian Angel, provided that the Omni Knight himself doesn't get locked down. It's a good amount of regen, and of course, avoiding all that physical damage as well. Plus, it feels like a KP style of hero. Very beefy. I don't want to see a Midas, but it's something just simple like
remaining.
I don't know, phase boots into a wand, into a soul ring, and solar crest. I think is the way that he's going to build this one.
Yeah, we've seen SMG actually play the Omni Knight a considerable amount. I'm trying to remember when they did it in the lower division. It was week 5 when they versed Army Geniuses. They played it in both those games. So this is going to be something that they're definitely comfortable with. Just intriguing to see how they want to pair it with mid one's hero pool. They've played it with the Slark before, and also with the Troll Warlord as well.
Right, this was that series that was like they played it with
10 seconds.
Was
remaining.
that both in the same series that they played it back to back?
Yeah, they played back to back. Yeah.
5 seconds.
And that was the one
remaining.
where I got really frustrated because Army Geniuses would always just focus on the hero that was essentially being buffed up by 4 of his teammates, right?
Yeah, and that was the day. That was the day of the OEDL Grand Finals where Army Geniuses versus Motivate, and they 3-0'd them, and then they went in that series. They played Omni Knight a couple times as well. They're like, maybe Omni Knight is a good hero.
Yeah. So I don't know. Hopefully, Southbuilt don't fall into the same sort of trap if they go this like pure 4 protect 1, which is SMG style. They put a lot onto mid 1, a lot on his shoulders. Didn't work out too well in the first 2 series of the tournament, handing Little Gun their only victory so far. Death Prophet is much more of a. I feel like Nia's going to be able to create a ton of space for that one. Man, they are they're just mirroring the draft that beat them. It's kind of like the same story that you were mentioning with Army Geniuses taking it into that OEDL Grand Final. But, I mean, it's fresh in their minds, that's for sure. So what are they going to finish this up with?
10 seconds remaining.
Bam. God damn it.
Well, gonna be hard to kill.
Yeah, this is...
There's not quite the same level of buffage, let's just call it, on SMG as they had in that previous series against AG, though, right? Like, I think they had a natural... they had maybe like an Abaddon or something like that, or just other really defensive supports, maybe a Tusk to try and close out the space. I don't know. I don't remember exactly. But
one of the games
Lion and DP don't do anything directly to Slark, if that makes sense. Whereas that game, I felt like they had more heroes that did.
One of the games they had a Grimstroke ET as their support duo. The other game was a Grimstroke Treant Protector. So
yeah, so Living Armor, Inkswell makes a lot of sense, right? This game, not so much. The Grimstroke has already been removed from the pool, so that's really nicely done by Southbuilt. Still could opt to go for the Treant Protector. I feel like they've got enough physical resist now already, just with being able to have the Guardian Angel, which is going to be really nice. And they're not really heavy into the physical damage anyway, so I'm not sure how good Living Armor is going to be.
Radiant team back. Dire team pick.
Does seem like SMG...
Radiant team
what did they look for, right? Void Spirit. Is this a... Is it a 5 death?
We're not going back to the 5 DP, are we? Never know. It's not a 5 Omni Knight, is it? Just pair it together with a Slark.
Yeah.
Try and dive into these double stun combos and not really be too scared. Extra strength as well to tank up a little bit.
Well, I feel like the Void Spirit's for Nia. I don't see Nia playing the DP. So...
yeah. I mean, KP's played the Void Spirit in the past. That's the only thing that I'm like, well, maybe they could make it happen. He plays it to a pretty high caliber as well, but still open. It feels like Southbuilt, they're not 100% sure how they want to respond to this just yet. I feel like... Lena? Okay, yeah, just something that's able to shove out the waves, do pretty well against either of these lineups. And it's Nia Void Spirit, Rogi DP, huh? Okay.
Or how do we feel about the flex that's coming through from SMG in this draft?
I'm not as strong about it. Like, Rogi, it's nice still, the DP, but it's nowhere near as strong as it was during the Singapore Major. We're, what, 3 months from then? There's been a lot of different changes into the meta. Lots of different heroes have come into the pool as well. And I feel like the big changes are to that movement speed. You're not going to be itemizing for these items that are going to give you a big mana pool. So spamming out those crypt swarms, you're not able to take maximum advantage of it as a support. And also, you're probably just not going to have the levels as well to be able to take advantage of the talents that buff up that crypt swarm style of build eventually into things like, the Eternal Shroud and things of that nature. So, I mean, it's going to be nice. We'll obviously see it be a bit more oriented around the utility with the Spirit Siphons just to live, take a bit of the attention away from the Slark. Of course, the Silence is going to be really effective against this this lineup. You just still do need to be careful considering you're not going to have a lot of net worth of getting caught out by a lot of the burst potential that they have. I don't think KP is going to be wanting to put too many Heavenly Graces or heals or anything else into a support DP.
Do we feel like it's just going to be the natural lane setup with the heroes that we have at the moment? Because I'm thinking in my head, like, I don't know how Omni Knight's actually going to be able to lane versus the Bristleback. That seems like KP might not get too much out of it.
No. I think maybe just look to manipulate a few waves instead. Who's he got? I mean, Arthur's doesn't have any of the boots, so it might be a little bit difficult to do that into a Keeper of the Light that's naturally just faster than you. I'm for a bit of a smoke here. Not placing down any super deep wards, or at least they didn't at the very beginning. Might get spotted out as a result of it. No, they're going to get a clip onto Nia. They also have Samael here. Doesn't have the arrow leveled up just yet, but that's a guaranteed kill onto Rogi.
They saw how powerful that combo could be in their last series, and they've gone for 4 of the heroes that worked out very well. And they're going to try and take a bit of a page out of the book there from Neon's draft, and kicking off with a nice first blood.
I'm liking this move from Enryu and Bob as well. They're just saying, look, we're just going to guarantee that we get these other 2 runes. We haven't seen them just yet. Not sure what he's throwing that tree around for on Bob, but it means that you know where SMG are. They're playing quite defensively. I say that, but they just walk on into the middle of the river. That is a pretty big mistake.
I guess if we're talking about silver linings, mid one didn't level up the essence, so no perma-stack for him just yet.
Still, I feel like you need to be a little bit more defensive in the lane though, right? Like, how often are you going to be hitting into a Sand King? He's just going to be under the cover of that Sandstorm. Maybe not at level 1, but again, the combo is there to be able to get stun locked up, a lot of your damage burnt out. You've only got the 1 set of tangos coming through. They do have 2 on Rogi, so that's going to be nice. No, yeah, I was about to say, kind of surprised that he didn't use the Spirit Siphon yet onto Samael. Make sure he just gets it on cooldown as quickly as he can. He's only got the 1 charge with it being level 1, and you know that the arrow was leveled up from that previous gank attempt.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Let's see. This is a much more... It's a much more simple execution for Marv this time around, right? You're a Bristleback, you've got a Keeper of the Light with you, you don't need to necessarily time your BKBs to perfection with a lot of your other ultimates, you just gotta go, me bristle, me go, And with a lot of this assistance that they've got around you, you've got a lot of teamfight control, you've got a lot that's going to be able to boost up your own damage potential. I feel like Marv's going to have a much better time this game.
Yeah, and that's what we haven't seen that stellar performance yet from Marv, unfortunately for him. Like, coming in with the boys on South Built, he's going to get heavily enabled with the Keeper of the Light, so it does seem that Radiant, they don't really have this big old late game win condition, however, so they're going to try and look for a solid mid game timing for them. Do you feel like SMG can mimic that timing that South Belt are looking for?
I think so. I mean, they don't have the strongest tower defense, right? Like, it's going to be pretty heavily put onto Nia to make sure that he's just nuking these waves down. For the laning stage, he's wanting to make sure he's got that physical resistance against Bob. Obviously, a lot of the damage that he's doing right now is just from being a big rock man, whacking him with his tree. But eventually, you're going to need to max out that dissimilate so you're able to quickly clear out those waves. Give you some time to be able to get to the later stages of the game where, and the Slark's going to have a good time. DP as well. Once you get those levels, your effectiveness ramps up much more than that of a Mirana.
Mid one? So he's fallen really low. Get the arrow connection on Rodgy. Baro's going to be up in a couple of seconds as well, but it's only level 1. In fact, Samael is the one that's looking to jump on aggressively. Turns Rodgy, one more right click. Will lose his life. Mid one unable to close the distance. I say that, well, count on full. Hermagi for the Slark.
Very nicely done, even leveling up the second point into the Dark Pact with that kill, so I'm going to be a little careful here on Enryu. He still doesn't have a point into the Sandstorm just yet, although I don't know if Mid one's going to realize that just yet. Opted to go even more aggressive, but he's got the boots now, so lots of chase down potential coming through. Actually dying on Marb somehow.
Oh, wow.
That's what happens when Zenki goes for this little bit of a snatch through onto the Bounty Rune, which is going to help out Bob in the mid lane for sure, but not at the cost of your Bristle. Like, you talk about them lacking a little bit of a win condition. Bristle definitely can be that, but not if you're dying in the laning stage.
The all-knowing one guides me.
We did see last game, Natsumi was dying a little bit throughout the lane, but he was getting kills at the same time and also still farming at an incredibly fast rate that the deaths did not really impact his game at all. Zenki might be in trouble. Great body blocks from Arfu, and it's going to bring him down with the 3 points in the Resonant Pulse there for Nia. So a impeccable movement as we see, also securing the rune.
Maybe he's doing a good job here. He's actually top of the net worth right now against Marb. Very easy to trade against this Bristleback. You know, the damage is quite slow to ramp up. You're able to quickly take off those Quill Spray stacks with the Heavenly Grace. And then he's also obviously got the Magic Wand, which he's just able to use to quickly turn things around. And then, you know, it's going to be quite key for Marb to positioning his back towards KP whenever he's about to use that Purification.
Burrow sets up for the arrow. They should get the kill on Brodgy unless the Spirit Siphon heal is enough there, and unfortunately it is not. Mid one tried to tank up the arrow, but they get a nice kill here. So this is definitely something that's going to enable South build. If we, seeing it a couple times so far. Mid lane, Bob going very deep. Nia's got another Astral Step, and Bob, well, it's something he knows to do, but sometimes unfortunately we don't see the position 2 on South build hold the aggressive kind of trait that he has so often. Look at that spray.
What do you reckon about SMG's voice lines and sprays and all that?
I haven't seen all the voice lines and sprays. I heard a couple of them. That's the only spray I've seen from them so far. The voice lines sound pretty good though. What do you think? They're up to par with... Oh, nicely done. Slark eats the arrow. Mid one, however, cannot turn back around. So Rodgy's still is just going to get right-clicked. Just in about a third HP here.
That is ours.
How do we feel about the SMG supporter pack?
It's alright. Like, I keep talking about the wallpaper. It's looking really nice. They were spamming out the Wallawe there before, which is basically just like, oh my god. They've also got Steady Pompipi, which is just saying like, you know, expression to show like, oh, someone's staying pretty calm, you know, calm under pressure, cool under pressure. I think Wallawe is, wait, I already said that one. The last one, let's have a look. Sibe Siana. I don't know, I think it's just like exasperation, I think, a little bit. I don't know a better way to say it. It's like, oh, here we go.
I can 100% say with confidence that is better how Better than how I would have explained it. I'd have no clue.
They're keen to go in here. A little surprising considering you've got KP with his Guardian Angel. They're very able to take a team fight.
Bob. Combos on cooldown. There comes out the Guardian Angel as well. Bob's going to look to reset. Bob's doing a very good job at posturing in front of his team. So it makes it so difficult to get onto the backline here. They'll toss Marb on forward. KP's still able to get back to safety. Even Roger's going to think about getting involved. Marb on pretty low. Near's got another round, at least one charge of the Astral Step. They'll both sidestep the arrow. Unfortunately, Arfu's on the wrong side of the engagement here. He will get brought down from Marb.
Yeah, they need to wait on SMG before taking those long engagements, considering you're going up against a Keeper of the Light. KP's going to try and make something happen here against Bob, who's quite keen to either steal away the bounty or get the kill onto Roger. He's not going to. That Spirit Siphon starting to chunk him down.
Illumina. Not enough for Roger. 2-point Siphon, 2 fluffy hats as well. Knee. Goodbye. My lord, that's a lot of damage with a DD.
Or is. I mean, you're always so worried, right? Taking a long team fight against a Bristleback, a Keeper of the Light, especially super early on while KP's only got the 1 point into that Heavenly Grace. It's got quite a long cooldown. But one value point of the Degenora allowed them to get the full turnaround. Nia really showing his wares in that team fight. Of course, DD helps somewhat, but I mean, even now with the Arcane Ring being able to get purchased up, he's just going to continuously be spamming out these waves. Having a very nice start here again.
Saw as well up top. Slark, he's got another pick off. 2 perm Agi here for mid one. He's also going to be working on the Diffusal Blade. This is a build that we've seen mid one go for often on his previous Slarks. It is
TPing through to the outpost, just already being forced out of the jungle, so big win there for KP. He's going to pick up the Fairy's Trinket. There was actually the Possessed Mask available in the shop, but Marb didn't opt to pick that one up. I'd definitely be giving the Trinket over the Tiny for sure.
Mid one. Another perma Agi for him, and NRAU committed on him with the Burrow Strike, so mid one gets a double kill.
Much obliged.
Closer and closer to Diffusal, closer to a difficult time for South Build to deal with a farm Slark. You know, Bristle loves drawn out fights, and that's where Slark is able to thrive in as well. And it feels like that Radiant, they're really gonna have to rely heavily on these Blink daggers. Like, Enryu's rushing one, Bob's also rushing a Blink as well. So until they get these available, it's gonna be very awkward with how they're getting outmaneuvered on the map. But when they get Blinks, they will get a bit of a power spike here.
Yeah, for sure. And, I mean, if he's talking about that power spike, he's already picked up his medallion. I mean, he's got his first couple of small items, which is all you really need to have a huge level of impact as this Omni Knight. Starting now to level up the Heavenly Grace. And, well, these team fights are going to become easier and easier. I think mid one's going to look to become a lot more active in about 200 gold when that Diffusal Blade is finished up. Maybe just clear out this siege creep. In the meantime, though, they actually get a kill onto KP. Pretty heavy commitment was needed. Both Bob and Marb rotating through 4. It could have cost Bob his life.
First stack of the game here for Arfu. It's about to hit level 7 as well. So we'll see him slowly start to rise in the levels. Always something that's very important for a hero like the Lion. Getting closer to that second point in the ultimate. Even just leveling out the stuns as well.
Enryu got coming out to him now. Is this he's got a nice early Blink Dagger. 11 minutes or so on the Sand King. He's also got the Fairy's Trinket with the Epicenter available. So we could look to see perhaps a kill attempt being put onto mid one. Just trying to bait him forward a little bit. Doesn't work if you miss your stuns though. His sake, hopefully he stays hidden as the dagger gets delivered through to him. He does. Any smokes available on the team? Not just yet. Zenki's got one available. Just wanting to stick around Marb and make sure they're able to make something happen here.
They ate the arrow, but the more important thing is that they cancelled the Epi with the Hex, so they can move on forward. Mid one's going to be careful. He actually gets brought down. Zenki's Illuminate takes him off the screen there. 3 points up in the queue for the Coddle. Bob's nearby as well.
little surprising, but again, it's just these small little differentials. Bob eventually shows up with the Blink Dagger, but I feel like that should have just been a clean team fight win for Southfield. You just had a couple of Blink Daggers delivered within 30 seconds of each other, but you know, just too impatient to wait for it. Even, hell, having the Keeper of the Light not there to give the Chakra Magic over is a bit of a misplay for mine. One's going to TP straight back in here. It might cost Bob his life.
He's got some backup. Bob's even
Tossed him super deep.
gonna finally show up to a fight, and nice use of the toss, getting some distance. Nia with the wraparound, however. They're gonna be careful if they get chain locked through, because Ryu's even gonna think about showing up as well. Astral Step away from the arrow. Roger's even gonna try and commit the exorcism as well. Can they bring him down? Nice silence, prevents the Burrow Strike. An on-point silence shoots from Roger, limiting that burst potential from Southfield with the stun lock. And they found 3, and they're looking to push on for more as well. As Zenki's getting chased down. Illuminate actually going to push it back there with the blinding light, but they're turning their attention now. Remnant forces Mob to face them. They cannot commit too far, as SMG taking a lot of damage here and don't want to give up some unnecessary kills, as they just might. Nia, great. Finds onto 3 with the Astral Step. Roger as well, a multi-hero silence. They're going to push him further and further away, but the Rapaway is coming through. Bob, he's already comboed down 1, the mid one of the back line. He's going to look to try and find some more as well. Ava, toss, KP, actually does enough damage to kill off the Lion. KP's Omni Knight's able to get back to safety, but Bob's going to have another round of the abilities up shortly, along with a big dagger as well. So Roger is just going to try and sacrifice his life here. SMG will get punished for how far they go.
Even just farming up the small cap at the same time. Peak efficiency is the name of the game for Bob, but finally, a nice team fight coming through for South, but they're even going to try and go in onto Nia, and good use cancelling it out there by Ryu, forcing through a few of those charges. A couple of things on cooldown, and Bob with the Invisor, and he's going to try and make something happen here with it. Can he get there in time? Walked underneath the Sentry Ward, and well, with that delay, he's going to have to simulate Resonant Pulse back off cooldown.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, they got the Hex and Ryu. Another silence!
All silence!
I mean, he didn't use the Epi, but the Burrow follow-up as well. Bob tossing away to the arrow, but it's point blank, so the stun's not going to last for too long. Henry will finally charge up the ultimate, but again, the silence is from Rochi. This Death Prophet 5 is ripping them apart. They can't use any abilities. It's crazy what a 5-second silence can do at level 3, and the AoE and range is through the roof.
Yeah, the range is the most nuts part about that ability for me. You know, you just catch it onto the edge. It's an AoE ability, so provided you just get inside that little circle, you're totally fine. And, I mean, what's also crazy about me is that Southfield are ready to commit a couple of extra heroes to go into their triangle, into the enemy triangle, rather. You know, you've got a tower on both mid and bot. You didn't have your Keeper of the Light there, which I feel he's a big part about why you were able to take these team fights to begin with. But Zenki nowhere near them that time, ends up costing him. Still need to switch over this this Fairy's Trinket, in my opinion, to Bob. I don't think the Fated Brooch gives anywhere near the same amount of value, considering you've got a Keeper of the Light. It's not like you need the higher mana pool that the Fated Brooch provides. Afu breaks the smoke.
Still, Afu's got to be pretty careful. There's the Yule set up. Ryu's going to eat the Remnant, stun only onto 1, but they get the arrow connection. But the issue is that you're fighting into all the ultimates that SMG have at the moment, and meanwhile, mid one's also zoning away the Keeper of the Light. It's a big way to enable your Bristleback in a team fight like this. Ryu cut down thanks to Afu's long finger of death, and Almab as well, slowly feasting away the essence to mid one.
Tower is under attack. Radiant structures are
They got the Solar Crest as well, so mid one. He's been enabled. You got the Heavenly Grace, you got the Solar Crest. Right now, that's all they really need. Archie playing a good job as the supporting cast here. That's going to be a tier 1 mid going down.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Could have potentially been even worse. I mean, Nia, he's keen to continue going in super deep.
Oh, Bob.
Trying to go for the double.
Nicely done. The setup from them on point. They know that Bob did commit on forward, and Ryu this time. The epic burrow is going to come into play, but the positioning from KP will get rid of a lot of the damage instantly brought to him from the Sand King. Silence is out once again. Bob unable to use the combo. Finally, it's going to come through with the last second. That's enough damage. They'll end up losing the life in mid one. Roger's going to get chased down as well. So a great turnaround from South Built here, netting themselves 4 kills.
Difference fighting up onto the your own high ground, right? Not that they even had vision, but just the potential to TP into either of those tier 2s, to have the protection of the fog. SMG were in a position right then to have their own vision, and well, it's going to result in a tier 1 being returned back their way. Not going to be enough time to go into Roche and take it just yet though, but every little bit, every team fight win just brings them closer and closer to that Aghanim Scepter on the Bristleback, which even with the nerfs, pretty damn strong.
We do see, though, how impactful the SMG, Omni Knight, and also, like, Death Prophet has been. And even just the Lion as well, adding it out there. But, like, more importantly, the silence from Rogi is dismantling a lot of the fights from South Built. KP's survivability that he can give to his cause, getting rid of a lot of that burst potential which South Built are relying on with, like, the either toss or with the Sand King into arrow connection. But again, like,
very low duration there with a Heavenly Grace.
Like, that's exactly what I'm just talking about. Like, what do you do? And now you got to jump KP and you got to jump Rogi, it feels like.
And now KP's got the hood, so a lot of your damage still is magical, at least until that Aghanim Scepter gets finished up by Marb. So right now, South Built, their main role is just to give him a little bit more time, get that last 500 gold that he needs for the farm. And after that, you know, maybe you can try and go for a kill attempt here. But yeah, KP seems like the real linchpin for mine for SMG. Unless you're able to quickly burst down the Death Prophet as well. That would be huge after the Exorcism gets popped.
They get the silence fast enough, they can't. Enru, fire onto 2. Arrow's going to get the connection as well with the Finger of Death. Enru just gets bursted down. It's somehow Death Prophet's still alive. Oh my lord. SMG. How are they doing this? Time and time again, they're just somehow surviving on that slither of HP. And now they might think about Roast with Exo. It's only level 1.
I'd say it's still pretty value. It'll get you up to level 10 with the kill. Even had the his second fluffy hat backpacked at the time. They're going to get a free kill here onto the keeper of the line unless Bob decides to go on. I think that'd be a bit of a suicide mission, Bob.
Uh-oh, Bobby is going to get caught out. Just more stacks for mid one to get before he goes back into the Roche pit. It has delayed Exism a little bit. And it's going to have about a third duration left, but yeah, with all the stacks that mid one has, plus the Solar Crest, they'll be able to bring it down afterwards.
It's the power of the double fluffy hat. That's all it is.
I love the itemization from a DP.
Yeah.
Like, it's fluffy hat, what you can get from it. I mean, 250 gold for 125 health is a lot. We see these squishy supports so often getting like 1, maybe 2 fluffy hats just for that survivability, so you do not get bursted.
Trying to make something happen around here. They could see how low Roche is, and mid one, he's going to continue to commit. Marb's going to go right on in.
One Dark Pack is able to snatch the Aegis here, but Marb is committed inside the pit. They've already lost Enryu, a lot of the burst, a lot of the control as well, but now with the Heavenly Grace, going to try and push it back on the high ground. Where's the detection coming through at the moment here? Marb's actually got to reveal himself. He's got that Aghanims freshly picked up, so he's starting to stack up the minus armor, starting to stack up the quills as well. But mid one, ready to rock and roll, is just burning all the mana. The arrow's going to get the connection, but it doesn't matter. The Heavenly Grace status resistance mean that mid one is stunned for such a short duration, so he can continue to go and work, feasting, stealing all that agility.
Yeah, and Bob wasn't even able to get a proper combo off. He used one there just to try and delay his death by a couple of seconds, get the rest of his team away, but you know, another good aggressive movement there by Nia, setting him up right on that choke point at the bottom of the stairs. Whoever owns this space feels like they're going to win every single team fight. The stun coming through onto Nia, but where's your follow-up? It's not there, and they don't care. They're just going to walk on in.
Mid one's got 22 essence still stolen with 17 perma. 21 minutes in, what? I feel like time and time again we see mid one Slark have so much perma agi at a ridiculous time in the game.
Slark feels like the perfect mid one hero, you know?
Oh yeah, it does.
Just goes in super deep, always fighting, always ready to farm. Who needs Battle Fury?
KP's positioning is just, it's so marvelous. If you're looking for someone who you're trying to learn the Omni Knight, then KP is definitely that man. Like, the awareness that he has on how he needs to be posturing across the map and when he can farm and when he needs to be by mid one side or by a cause side he's got such solid awareness.
Exactly. Let's keep in mind though, this is in competitive Dota, and I feel like SMG have a lot of people just actually listening when they're making some calls. They're going to catch out the Sand King here. I feel like if people just, you know, they saw this KP Omni performance and they go, you know what, I'm going to pick Omni Knight and my carry's going to listen. When I say to go in, trust me, I got your back, he's going to do it. And then, you know, your Slark's just going to be jungling for the next 10 minutes and, you know, you're just going to hate yourself.
Definitely is a lot easier to play a game like Dota when you've got 5 people that are going to listen to each other's opinions.
Mm-hmm. Respect goes a long way in Dota, in life. And it's working for SMG so far. Even though, like, with all of this, still only a 2k net worth lead. Quite surprising, actually. Maybe the Roche kill going SB's way might have influenced that a tiny bit, but Roche's bounty is kind of small these days. I wish they buffed it up, what it actually provided, so we could see legitimate level 1 Roche strategies come back into the fold. I always felt like that was so exciting, seeing the level 1 Roche. It's super high risk, but right now the reward just isn't there.
Yeah, I wonder what they would need to do to actually make it... make people actually want to think about going.
I think it needs to, like, guarantee you level 2.
Is that with everyone in the pit?
I would say so. I think that's fair. I mean, a lot of heroes go a less than ideal level 1 ability in order to enable them to do that. Let's just say in Abaddon, right? He might go the Curse of Avernus instead of an Aphotic Shield. And, you know, if you do it and you get ganked, you're screwed in the laning stage because, you know, the enemy team punished you. They read that you were going for a Roche lineup. But if you... I think now you barely even get half a level of experience at level 1 from doing it as a full 5-man group, so you still got like basically a creep wave or a few creeps in before you're able to actually do what your hero is meant to do in the laning stage.
Four-man smoke from Dire.
Under reward.
Oh,
Bob's still gonna be crowned though.
Still gonna catch up Bob. They might even get the Marauder if Roger's able to find him.
I feel like that's a couple of times that's happened to South Built. Previously, I believe it was Marb at the, not this game, but in the previous series at the T1 tower. You know, they were smoked, enemy team was smoked underneath the ward. They ran all the way from mid to bot, and he ended up dying. That time around, Bob, he had a couple of seconds to get away. You're a tiny, you had the Blink Dagger. Wasn't quite quick enough. Speaking of Marb, well, I was about to say he's going to get that tier 2 tower.
Surely tonight, right in his face. No, that's such a power play. Just stop hitting him, turn, deny it, and then go back to killing him.
One's going to be happy though. Picking up all of those Essence Shift stacks, plus 60 Agi. Going on to Roger. Such a heavy commitment to be able to kill him. Do they even have detection? They don't.
Oh. Do you feel like Radiant need to play as 5 right now because you have the Bristleback who kind of does not want to be solo? Like when you're away from the team, you lose a lot of your prowess. But then...
Sure, at least you got the tier 2 tower though, right? Yeah. Like you've taken away a lot of the control on the top side. And I feel like you need Bristle to have the BKB. You know, the getting silenced up while you've got this Ag Scepter is so huge. You're not just a right clicker, you are a spellcaster. So it's about securing him that little bit. If that means, you know, having the team with you, behind you, just in case you get ganked, so you've got that turnaround potential, so be it. But the lanes need to be in a lot better position than this, especially the one on the top side. So SMG, they probably would have punished anyone that tried to push the wave out, but somehow he's going to get caught anyway.
That is a smoke from SMG. They're tipping down bot on Arfu. Even trying to jump the Lion, who's got almost 1700 HP, they can't even heavily commit. Gonna have to hope Zenki can get away. There's nothing nearby to cancel that. Bob's just hiding in a little nook here. His TP is about to come back off cooldown.
Scardy finished.
Boy.
In very little. There we go.
You take a look at what the Scardy's able to provide you. It's mainly just like mid one not getting bursted from the combo, but also such a strong item against someone like the Bristleback, who really thrives again on these drawn out fights, and minimizing a lot of his sustain aspect is going to be massive for them.
Yeah, he's got a lot of health regen with that Vanguard. Even the tiny little extra bit from the Bullwhip's going to be nice to be able to nullify. Oh, he was standing off deep, just wanting to keep these waves pushed out. Like we were talking about before, allowing Marb to have a little bit of spare time to finish farming up this BKB. Should be able to do it with this camp, but under the cover of the Moonlight Shadow, that camp is not going to stack because they're like, where'd the Bristle go? I'm just going to run back to my little home. These Ancients will be enough though. And then it'll finally be go time for Southfield. They're not going to have Moonlight Shadow because they used it to protect Bob. But, can finally go for something with relative confidence. It's a level 18 Bristle as well, so the Warpath stacks are going to start to build up. What are you doing there, Zenki? What are you doing? You are a position 5 Keeper of the Light. Yes, you've got a couple of nice items, you've been able to farm up a decent amount, but you are foolish to believe that they will not have any vision in their own jungle. Or, that's not even their own jungle, right? That's just like a gank protection ward.
Mid lane. FBUs, they're going to try and jump KP, but what a counter initiation from Marfu. Earth Spike on 2. Any move that Radiant are putting out is just getting instantly countered from SMG. Their positioning on the map, the team cohesion to always be there to protect at least one. And it's just...
I mean, the only explanation for this is that they're trying to make space for Bob to have his BKB as well, but I feel like he's not the one that really needs it.
Oh, and he's going to get caught out. Through. He might be able to go for a TP right now, but no, he will, and Afu comes through too fast, so they get a nice kill on Bob. Pre-BKB completed here. It's back, okay.
Regen.
Okay, good try. Maybe space, I say that, but mid one...
I don't think he doesn't care.
Yeah, as long as you got KP behind you, you really don't give a damn. Solar Crest, Heavenly Grace, that's all you need. They're going to jump in, but this is... Like, you've got to kill Omni Knight.
He doesn't care.
Like, you've got to kill Omni Knight, guys. You're not going to kill the Slark if KP's still alive. They have to be laughing right now. Mid one's like, are you serious? You're actually going to try and kill me? He jumps in. He's stealing so much essence. You're lucky you got a Ghost Scepter, but mid one's still able to pounce on forward. Like, they have a T2 tower. And
I mean, this is just... Why are you there?
It must be cutting mid, but... Oh, TP! Okay. Let's go Zenki.
Alright. Value. Here we go. All 5 are together. You don't have Epicenter. Oh no, they just got it back up.
No sorceries avail.
Go together. Take a team fight together. Try and get a wraparound play going. Take out these supports really quickly. See if you can get onto KP. Maybe even Nia. That'd be ultra value. But you're not going to do it solo, and he's not with his team.
They tried to jump off food, but the protection with the mana drain. Bob will get ripped apart. Roji's even able to just run up the high ground for free. He's going to be careful though, because he's falling pretty low. Marb's damage is starting to stack up. Thanks to the 3 points in the wall pass, they're going to try and look to reset. Jump in forward, they've caught out KP. Arrow's going to be on the mark as well, but a 3-man Earth back again from Arfu to the simulate AoE silence. Goodbye, Southfield. They'll lose 2. Enryu's going to try and get a 4-star away with the Remnant off the mark, but Arfu again, he's on the prowl. Gets a blink on forward, Earth Spike start. They are just the combos that they're disrupting with the KP abilities, with Arfu abilities, the AoE silences.
And even this Glimmer Cape on the Keeper of the Light, the Moonlight Shadow, it's not going to be enough. Mid one's holding on to a gem the entire time because he knows like it's going to be so difficult for him to die. It was a nice initiation there in onto KP, but after Bob had been forced to buy back already, he doesn't care. He's just going to keep moving forward. Why wouldn't you?
Oh mob. Goodbye, sir. He just stands his ground. Oh no, mid one's got 52 agi. Well, that's just at least a full.
Jump dive.
What?
Oh, it passes as he's trying to tip here.
Wait, I didn't know he was
Oh,
still on
mid
OG. What's going on here?
I'll take your treatment.
Mid one?
Dire are scanning.
This is some.
Radiant's
got a gem.
bottom tower is under attack.
That's a bit of BM. Bit of BM. Might sting a little
I
bit.
mean, I know back when KP was on TNC, occasionally they would release the team comms. I really hope SMG are doing that for this game, and yeah, eventually Southfield, they're going to have enough. They called the GG. 30 minutes in. Incredibly dominant performance. How much kill involvement did mid one have? 31 out of 43. That's pretty damn good for a position one.
That's crazy good. Crazy good. Overall, like, we just see, we've seen South built so far. Unfortunately, you know, they tried a draft that worked against them earlier in the day. It just felt like they weren't able to execute at the level that Neon so often do.
I mean, Neon's draft worked because they actually played together. I can't count the number of times that there was just one person off in, you know, La La Land for whatever reason. Even that last fight, when they finally had everyone together, where Zenki was able to get back to the base, they had every cooldown available except for the Moonlight Shadow, and then NRU just goes top and Sandstorm's a creep wave. Like, no, you know SMG are going to be running at you, and they didn't have any turnaround potential at all. So, very disappointing for mine. I know South built are better than this, and they're just not showing it so far.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate thing. I mean, I hate to keep bringing it back to it. I don't know what's going on with the bar and Mob. Like, I don't know what's going on, but it's just the team.
Well, apparently he's there for the long haul. Like, this isn't a stand-in situation anymore. I went and asked, and they said Mob will be staying with the team long term. Is the response that I got.
So, aka Bart's not with them anymore.
Apparently not. I think earlier on tonight during the first series, Abat was still actually streaming at the time on Facebook. So, I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on either, but it just goes to show SMG, they're just on another level. They get the draft they're looking for. Nia pops off. I can't even just say that. Literally everyone pops off. SMG, an incredible overall team performance from them. They just, the maneuvers they made across the map made South built look like a team that just could not compete with SMG, and you know, hopefully they can take a bit of a breather with our 10-minute break and see if they can reset in the draft and come back with something that's able to potentially secure a game 2 victory. Otherwise, this might just be a day where they go 0-4, unfortunately for them. But we'll send this one to a quick break with SMG taking game 1.